And we're straight in.
Busy program. Here's Gillan, no laughing matter to kick off Top of the Pops.
Right, welcome back to another Top of the Pops reaction. First up, Gillan and No Matter What, did Simon Bates say. So another Top of the Pops reaction, first one we've done in a few months. But as you know, from this year onwards, this was just going to be an occasional series. But this is the episode of TOTP, first broadcast on the 25th of June 1981. So 43 years ago today. Today being when this video comes out on my channel. And of course, this being from the 25th of June, it's an episode, and I like to do this every year. I think I've done it every year or thereabouts since I started doing the reactions back in 2019, was it? I first started doing these. Wow, doesn't time fly. But it's my birthday, and it would have been my first birthday when this episode was originally broadcast. So, yeah, I'm not going to have any memories of watching this, being only 1 year old. But I do love a good birthday Top of the Pops reaction. Right, so Gillan. Ian Gillan is the frontman, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I'll tell you who would know. Ian from Ranking the Obscure. This is his sort of thing. The new wave of British heavy metal. Oh, I like the church organ that guy's playing there. I don't know what's on this episode generally, although I've had a scrub through. The quality of this, the sound is good enough, the picture I've seen better, but I'm kind of taking what I can get at the moment. A lot of the really good high quality Top of the Pops archive just isn't available now, so I'm going to have to source editions from elsewhere, but it'll be bearable, I'm sure. What do I think of this? I mean, it's not really my kind of scene, to be honest. Look at him with his... Oh, there'll be a name for that sort of guitar with the two necks. Probably a two-necked guitar, that's probably what it's called. I think it's alright, this. I don't think it's awful. It's just not really my scene, generally. I think Gillan have been on Top of the Pops at least a few times. I feel like I've reacted to them before, to be honest, quite some time ago though. And certainly not this track.
That's Gillan, who'll be headlining this year at Reading, and No Laughing in Heaven. Elaine Paige, the Evita lady, has finally made it. She's got a hit, it's number 6 this week, and it's called Memory. Have a look at and listen to this.
Alright, Memory by Elaine Paige. Yeah, it's the one I thought it was. I think there's one or two songs called Memory or Memories, isn't there? So, well, I had a feeling it'd be this one as soon as he said Elaine Paige. So. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not keen. Of course, Elaine Paige, I think, was, by this point, kind of like a West End star, weren't she? Was she an well, I mean, she would have been an actress, being in the West End, but I mean, was she generally like a singer before an actress, or was she kind of an actress who then went into, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some information on the ticker bar on screen. Anything interesting that I can find out about Ms. Elaine Paige there, you'll be reading about it on screen as watching her. Or as you're watching her, as I'm watching her as well. It's probably from some musical, innit, this? You think the name Elaine Paige, you think of musicals, don't you? Of course, a duet with Barbara Dixon, which was, I think, 85, so a few years after this. That was from, I think that was from Chess, the musical that was written by, I think, Tim Rice and Benny and Bjorn from ABBA. I'm doubting myself now, so I may have to correct myself on screen, which wouldn't be the first time, would it? I mean, I know this is quite a popular song, but it's just very maudlin and earnest. It's not. I don't like it. Oh, it's got some real syrupy strings to it now. No. Not keen at all, I'm afraid. Gillan was an okay start, kind of above average for me. Decent enough song, but nothing that I'd choose to listen to. But this is just... It's like the aural equivalent of treacle, really, for me. Just having treacle poured in your ears. So I've really got to say about it. I don't like it. I'm not an Elaine Paige fan. I guess I respect her for a long career, but presumably still going. I don't know, actually. I mean, she'll be, with the greatest respect, she'll be knocking on a bit now, won't she? I mean, she doesn't look young here, and this is, 43 years ago. Perhaps she has retired, I don't know. Some more information to look up and then put on the ticker bar, innit? The info bar. God, it goes on a bit and all this track, doesn't it? Some Bon Tempi synth to end it as well. It's got everything, this song, hasn't it? Sam, I don't like any of it.
That's Elaine Paige at number 9. Lovely. Okay, there's a lady around who's doing a kind of different song, kind of different sound as well. Her name's Kirsty MacColl. The record that she's got is wonderful and is going to go into the top 10 immediately. There's a guy, works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis, and he's Elvis.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a step up, certainly. It's a song I've not heard in a good few years as well, this. There's a guy down the chip shop swears he's Elvis by the late and admittedly great Miss Kirsty MacColl. Kirsty MacColl, I know there's a fair few fans of hers out there in the vinyl community. Richard McCook certainly springs to mind. He's very keen on Kirsty MacColl, and one or two other friends and acquaintances of mine here on YouTube, I know they're quite big fans of her as well. Was this a breakthrough hit? I guess it probably was. I mean, she was someone you'd kind of see her turn up on Top of the Pops and things, even when it wasn't, a Kirsty MacColl named performance. The instance I can remember is when Happy Mondays were on in, that would be 1990, I think, on an edition of TOTP, and you saw Kirsty there doing backing vocals. She wasn't credited on the record. I'm trying to remember the record. It would have been Step On, I think. Yeah. And I think she was mentioned by the presenter of that Top of the Pops was. I think that was the quite famous episode where Stone Roses and Happy Mondays were on the same evening, I think. And also she did backing vocals, although I don't know if she appeared with them on Top of the Pops, I couldn't say for certain. But she did backing vocals on one of my favourite Smith singles, Ask, which would have been, is that 86? Oh, she worked with a lot of other people. think Johnny Marr wrote for her at some point as well, but I can't remember what that would have been. It was one of her bigger hits later on in the decade. Maybe I'll put it on screen. Yeah, but this is a lot of fun. Kind of nice, sort of. It's hard to really kind of categorise the genre of this. I mean, the tempting thing is to say it's new wave, but that's a term that's always been a bit too broad for me. Because that can cover a lot of stuff. That can cover like more synth kind of acts as well as indie stuff and guitar, alternative guitar stuff. So I don't really want to call this new wave strictly, but that's probably the easiest kind of umbrella term to give it. It's great this. I've not heard this in many years, this song. Simon Bates predicted it for the top 10. You will have seen when it gets top 10 on the info bar earlier.
First time on Top of the Pops tonight for a very distinguished broadcaster. Delighted to have a man who you don't often hear or see in a pop program, but this way, yours the way you'll never have seen him before.
Funk, where rhythm is life and life is rhythm.
Right. Well, we didn't really get any indication of who this is from Simon Bates there.
It's not uncommon to find yourself throwing caution to the wind.
What on earth is this?
The heat and excitement is somewhat reminiscent of a Calcutta sauna. Here today, groove away. Feel the beat. It's so neat.
Well, I've been left speechless here. It's like some guy who looks kind of like Michael Fish. I'm pretty certain it isn't Michael Fish. If he'd have released like a novelty single in the 80s, I would have known about it, but he does resemble him, doesn't he?
Under a groove. This is some of the lingua franca of the funk business.
Well, it's just some middle-aged guy with big sideburns, a balding head and glasses, kind of rapping. And obviously, at the time, it feels like people would have known who this is. I wish Simon Bates had given him a better intro, really. Like, just said who he was. Obviously, you've seen on screen all the information I found out about this act.
Everybody say what? I said what? Thank you.
Well, technically, this is early rap, isn't it? You know, because rap was still well in its infancy in 1981. Who'd have thought this guy would be one of the pioneers? Someone who looks like a kind of chartered accountant or some supply teacher you had at school back in the day.
1, 2, 3, 4, get your woman on the floor. You've got to get up to get down, so really go to town. Don't stop till you get enough. Want to rock with you and shake your stuff. Boogie night where it's alright. Ring my bell, it's out of sight.
Oh dear. It feels a while since I've reacted to a novelty song, especially one that's actually quite funny rather than just cringeworthy. And this one, it's making me laugh, to be fair.
So in the vernacular, let's get serious.
But who is it? I feel I should know him.
To imagine how to survive without the rope lights, the tight trousers, the tinsel and the glitter that is Saturday Night Fever. Here, excitement comes in a 12-inch disc. Shoot. Getting the funk out of your face is socially acceptable. Get the funk out of my face. Get the
Oh dear.
out of my face. So there you have it. A society within a society, a world within a world. Where words are the music of life, and life is the music of words.
I really haven't got anything else to say about this. I'm sitting here. I can't say when I'm enjoying it at all. I mean, it's making me laugh.
Grow on trees. Love it, hate it.
But that doesn't mean that makes it a good song, a good single.
And bad is about as good as you can possibly get.
Right, who is it? The Evasions. I'm still none the wiser.
That guy's name is Graham to Wild. About 3 months ago, he was out of work. Now he's got a hit with Evasions and Wicker Rap.
Wicker, oh, he's meant to be, he's doing an impression of Alan Wicker.
From 30 to 20.
Of course.
Tom Club is
Yeah.
number 30,
You know, when I said Michael Fish, I nearly thought about saying when he kind of looks like a cross between Michael Fish and Alan Wicker.
Third world at 27.
I wish I had done that. I would have looked a little bit more intelligent. Anyway, we're getting the first bit of the top 30 countdown. Oh dear, I'm still getting over that.
And Susie and the Banshees goes up one place to number 22. Vangelis is at number 21 with Chariots of Fire. Now here's Randy Crawford at number 28. Hang on a second, I'm trying to tell them about it. It's You Might Need Somebody. It's Randy Crawford's hit, which is at number 28, and it's absolutely beautiful, and a good example of ladies being back in the charts again.
Alright, Randy Crawford, You Might Need Somebody.
Reaches for your heart.
Well,
Open up and
this was covered about, about 15, 16 years later by Shola Armour, which was her breakthrough single in the mid-90s. It was a song that I didn't play it an awful lot myself, but my best friend slash program controller at college radio, Lee, he played this a fair bit because it was a big single at the time.
you don't have to be alone.
I say this, I don't mean the original, I mean the Shola Armour version.
All you need to know.
I've even heard the original Randy Crawford version. I think I must have done. I don't know how well this did in the chart, but you'll have seen a peak UK chart position on screen.
You might need somebody.
And perhaps I'll put the Shola Armour one as well at some point during this performance.
You might need somebody. You might need somebody.
He's got a nice voice, Randy Crawford. Not a singer, not an artist who I've ever followed or had any interest in following. But it's like a lot of particularly solo singers and female artists I've got a lot of time for, a lot of respect for. And I enjoy hearing them, you know, out and about, or, you know, just when I'm casually tuning into an old Top of the Pops that's on BBC 4 or on the iPlayer or whatever.
Stirring in your heart.
I quite like this song. Like I say, the Shola Armour version for me was a little bit overplayed, and that was mainly thanks to my pal Lee at Key North Radio at college. But
It can warm
that didn't mean I thought it was a bad song or a bad performance by Shola Armour, and this certainly isn't a bad performance by Randy Crawford. You know, I think this is decent and one of the better things on the show so far. I mean, it's taken me this long to kind of, you know, get the Alan Wicker impersonator out of me more. I mentioned him again now, so, you know, if I start chuckling again, it's because I'm thinking about the Wicker rap.
Oh, you might need somebody. You might need somebody too. You might need somebody too. You might need somebody. You might need somebody too.
Very attractive lady, Miss Randy Crawford.
You might need somebody too. Yeah.
Pleasant on thine eye, I'm sure you'd
You
say.
might need somebody too. Somebody. You might need somebody too. You know I do. You know I do.
She's American, isn't she, Randy Crawford? I would have thought so.
It's Randy Crawford at number 28. It really does show how many good ladies there are in the charts and how many good records there are by ladies. And talking of the charts, let's get right back to him now.
Alright, top 20.
In at number 20, Bob Marley and the Wailers and No Woman, No Cry. Enigma at number 19, Ain't No Stoppin' Us. Bad Manners, new entry, Highest Climber at number 18. And Phil Collins at 17 with If Leaving Me Is Easy. Shakin' Stevens at number 16. And Kool and the Gang take it to the top at number 15. Toya's I Wanna Be Free is 14. And Adam and the Ants, Stand and Deliver is at number 13. Bucks Fizz are at number 12. And Up Go Imagination, Body Talk to number 11.
And the full scene, Imagination, Body Talk. I do quite like that.
Now, they had a record out earlier this year that didn't do everything it might have done, but this one,
Oh.
New Life, is just immaculate, and watch it go up the charts as well. First time on Top of the Pops, and don't adjust your set for the funny stuff
It's
underneath.
Depeche Mode, or as a lot of the radio DJs and Top of the Pops presenters liked to call them, or just thought they should call them at this point, Depeche Mode. So their first Top of the Pops appearance, so quite a historic edition this really. And I don't think Depeche Mode particularly appeared on Top of the Pops hardly after around maybe 85-ish, 86 maybe, I don't know. Well, they were on a fair bit, sort of, certainly from the early to the mid-80s. They had a lot of singles. Actually, no, I'm a big Depeche Mode fan. Don't call them Depeche. This was from their first album, Speak and Spell, and was pretty much their breakthrough single. Not their first single, Dreaming of Me came out before this. Yeah, great song. Definitely a highlight for me. I don't think it's Depeche Mode's greatest single. If I had to sort of rank their singles, or at least their 80s output, this one would probably be mid-table, maybe sort of a little bit higher. But I think they've done better, but that doesn't mean I don't like this, because I do. I like it a lot. Some very dated looking computer graphics overlaid there. Vince Clarke, of course, he was only in Depeche Mode for one album's worth, and then he left to do, well, I say to do his own thing. I mean, he formed Yazoo with Alison Moyet, The Assembly, which I think was like a one-off project with Fergal Sharkey. I don't think they even had an album come out. And then, of course, he went on to form Erasure with Andy Bell, who was still going today, and another one of my favourite Syntax. Yep, great stuff there. Right, oh, we're at the top 10 already. Oh, this episode seems to be flying by.
It's getting kind of late now.
At number 10, Hazel O'Connor and Will You from Breaking Glass.
Stay now, will you just politely say goodnight?
Oh, we get another bit of this.
The Evita lady, Elaine Paige, is back in the top 10 at number 9 with Memory. A climb of one place for Ultravox this week to number 8 and All Stood Still.
All Stood Still. Not an Ultravox track I'm massively familiar with. Well, it does feel like I would have heard it back in the day, when I was very young.
Love songs of 1981, Champagne. How About Us at number 7.
How About Us by Champagne?
Some people can hold it together.
No. Not my cup of meat, as someone in a song said. I think it was it Bob Dylan for the Mighty Quinn?
A real leap for the Specials, up 15 places to number 6. And
going up, Specials, future number 1 there.
This place is coming like a ghost.
I can't listen to this without thinking of it being played on that episode of Father Ted, to be honest. Oh, now this is good.
New York group Odyssey are at number 5 with Going Back to My Roots.
Odyssey, Going Back to My Roots. I do like this. I wouldn't say I like a lot of disco, but I do like it.
A little southern town.
An FBI project did a good version
It's
some years
Red
later.
and Teddy Bear.
The old CB was blaring away on Channel 19 when there
Okay.
came a little boy's voice on the radio line.
That's right, it's Kate Robbins at number 3, same as last week with More Than In Love.
More Than In Love, Kate Robbins. Kate Robbins is a comedy actress, isn't she? I knew she did do some singing. In quite a big sort of showbiz family that I think's vaguely related to the McCartneys. And yes, I do mean the McCartneys as in Paul.
Smokey Robinson's finally been toppled from the top spot. He's at number 2 with Being
In
With
with
You.
you, Smokey Robinson. I think I reacted to this on it probably was the last 81 episode that I did. He must have spent a fair few weeks at number 1, maybe. That were alright from what I remember of it. Right, what's at number 1 then?
So, Smokey Robinson's gone from number 1 to number 2. What's number 1? Well, you can hear it in the background. Of course, it's Michael Jackson and One Day in Your Life. And to express it visually, just over my shoulder, Legs and Company.
One Day in Your Life by Michael Jackson is your number 1 for this week in June 1981. And we're seeing Legs and Company. Don't be so formal, Bates. Call them Legs and Co. Everyone else did. Well, yeah, I mean, you're unlikely to get a Michael Jackson appearance in the Top of the Pop studio come the 80s. He did appear with the Jacksons, the Jackson 5, a few times in the 70s. So I'm assuming this is from Off the Wall. Have Off the Wall come out at this point? I don't know. Off the Wall's an album, believe it or not, I'm not overly familiar with. I mean, I'll know the singles off it, or some of them, probably. I know it's a massive album, albeit not as big as Thriller, that would have come out, what, a couple of years later, and basically made him the biggest star in the world. I mean, I know this. Once again, it's something I've not heard in a good few years. I don't really like Michael Jackson doing ballads, if I'm perfectly honest. I prefer his more upbeat stuff. I would have thought most people do. But, you know, enough people like this in the UK, certainly, to get it to number 1. And I'd have to have assumed that this did well in the US as well, and possibly in many other countries across the world. But it's not anything that I like very much at all, really. It's been an interesting edition of Top of the Pops, this. I hope you've enjoyed it, or enjoyed watching it along with me, and enjoyed my reaction to it. The highlight, I think, comedy-wise, the highlight was the Alan Wicker rap done by the guy who looked more like Michael Fish to me. As for actual music quality, I mean, Kirsty MacColl, I think, was possibly the best thing. Well, maybe sort of with Depeche Mode slightly in a very close second place, really. So yeah, Kirsty MacColl and Depeche Mode made this really quite a worthwhile edition of the long-running weekly BBC music chart show. Oh yeah, I do like to find ones that happened on my birthday. There is others that came on certain birthdays of mine. As I said earlier, finding stuff in the archives has got a lot more difficult in recent months. It's the BBC crackdown on, you know, basically people using their footage. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully next year you'll see another birthday reaction, but I can't promise, I'm afraid.
Number 1, of course, it's Michael Jackson. Next week on BBC One, maybe 2 new things. A new star at Wimbledon, and maybe a new number 1. You'll have to tune into Top of the Pops and see. See you then.
Right, they're playing out with something. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll put it on screen. So there we are. That was this edition of Top of the Pops, reacted to by yours truly, Jimmy Barnes. Originally broadcast on BBC One, presumably, unless it was shifted to BBC Two for a temporary period. June 25th, 1981. Let me know your thoughts in the comments when there'll be another Top of the Pops reaction. I'm not sure. I've got kind of an idea what I'd like to do later on in the year. So just keep an eye out on the channel. But until then, I'll say goodbye and ask that you join me for the next one. Cheers, everybody. See ya!